Okay, hi everyone. I'm Woon, year 2 student from psychology, and I'm running for the position on GenSec. Okay, firstly, I will share with you all why I chose to run. I always believe that in a leadership position is actually nothing glorious at all. To me, right, being in a leadership position, whether it's by election or not, it means that I have to earn the trust of those that I lead and to serve them to the best of my ability. So what exactly is to serve? To me, it means to contribute my experiences and knowledge back to hall and to promote the interests of Eusophians and to be a source of assistance to them. That's simply what it means by serving. So what motivated me to run is, firstly, my fellow Eusofians. I remember when I was working on Chingay, my Chingay designer Jia, he shared with us his view that it is the friends that keep him going on and on in hall. And every time, many a time during the toughest moments when I was working in Chingay, I always think back to his words. And I know that it's the same for me. That what keeps me going on is that I have my friends beside me. And we are going through this together. I'm sure this is very true for all of us, that in one CCA or another, working on our own strengths or another, is the fellow Eusofians that keeps us going every time. So with Eusofians, I always feel this Eusoff spirit very, very strongly. No matter what I'm doing in Eusoff, it's like a voice inside my head telling me to never give up, no matter how tough things may look. And I want to keep the Eusoff spirit burning this way. Next, Eusoff has given me a lot of opportunities to grow as a person. When I was a freshman, I came in, I didn't know anything about running a committee at all. And I was very socially shy because of people. But with all these opportunities and the confidence that the hall has given to me, I have seen myself grow so much. I remember when I first stepped out as Chingay head, when I first meeting with Master. I was very sure Master was very nervous and feeling very, very insecure about my abilities. Like he didn't know whether I could perform up to expectations and much less expectations. But nevertheless, he still gave me a lot of support and he always believed in me. And without all this constant support and encouragement that I get from everyone, not just Master, not just the office staff, but most importantly, all the seniors around me. Without all their guidance and belief in me, I would never be able to learn so many things along the way. And so now, this is the reason why I want to run for JCRC, why I want to serve. I know that everyone gives the same reason when they are running for JCRC. It's very cliche, but it is really, to say the truth, it is the strongest motivation and the truest motivation to run. Okay, last but not least, why I'm running is because I love doing committee work. I enjoy the feeling of being in this team that is working with a common goal in mind. Although there may be very, very different, there may be people working in different wings, having very, very different responsibilities, but ultimately we are all working for one goal. It gives me a very great sense of satisfaction and pride when I'm able to bring all these different parts together to do something substantial. It can be something very small like archives, or it can be very big like DP. But all the same, it is a very fulfilling experience. Okay, so coming to my vision for JCRC, for my term in JCRC, my overall vision is to strengthen the sense of identity that Eusoff is our home. I want every Eusofian to feel very strongly that they are part of a Eusofian story, they are part of a greater Eusofian story, and that they are the ones who create Eusofian moments and memories. And as the on-gen sec, my role is to ensure that all these stories that we create, they go into the chapters of this whole Eusofian storybook. And they will be made known to future Eusofians. Okay, which brings me to my vision for each of the roles that I play as on-gen sec in JCRC. As the on-gen sec, I have 3 roles to play. Firstly, as a secretary of all the hall CCAs, leading all the secretaries of the different committees. What I see as the role of each committee secretary is, in the big picture of Eusoff, is for the continuity of committee work. And on the level of each committee, the role of each committee secretary is to aid the passing down and the handing over of committees to the new leaders each year. A secretary is very important in a committee. Secretaries of each com, to me, they are like writers of history. It's very important that they are there to document the paths that Eusoff has trodden, because all these records serve as reference to new committee heads who have something to fall back on to help them grasp the area of knowledge and to understand the past journeys of their com. So with that in mind, right, my focus will be that for each committee to produce the relevant documents which are vital to trace the progress of each com, such as committee work plans, meeting minutes, event evaluations. This work will basically be facilitated via the Secretariat Committee, which is under my purview. Okay, and this brings me to my next role, which is as a director overseeing 3 committees under my portfolio. Okay, as an OnGen Sec, I am overseeing Archives, Secretariat, and Auditors Committee. Okay, basically why these 3 comms come under the purview of OnGen Sec is because they all play a very important role in maintaining the past and present records of the hall. And with this, covertly, it is the responsibility to safeguard the pride and glory of Eusoff Hall, past and present. For Archives and Secretariat, my vision is for them to play a more active role in structuring and maintaining the current materials that we have in Eusoff. Because a very large part of all these materials are digital files that are maintained by Eusoff Works currently, I will be working very closely with the archives head and the key people in Eusoff Works, in the Eusoff Works archival system, to look into the potential of allowing, slowly letting archives to take over the archival work from Eusoff Works, and to further streamline the procedures to archive materials. Okay, hopefully, indirectly, this will lighten the workload of Eusoff Works members also. As for Secretariat, right, the documenting work is mostly paperwork material, so it's more direct because it doesn't require specialized technical knowledge. Okay, last but not least, for auditors. The auditors are always very low profile people, nobody knows what they do. But actually they play a very important role in the stock checking of equipment and hardware, such as for Eusoff Works, for SMC, and even the gym equipment, to ensure that they are accounted for and functioning properly. So in this area, I will be working closely with the Finance Director to complement budget planning as well. Okay, lastly, my last role, as a committee member in the JCRC. I see myself as an active voice in making the plans that will affect all hall residents, such as, one of it is the point system, definitely. Okay, there is no point system that will satisfy everyone, but I can see current loopholes that we will fix. And besides my administrative duties as a secretary for the JCRC, I also hope to be someone that can gel everyone together in the JCRC, to reconcile different personalities in the JCRC and to overcome conflicts when the conflicts arise. Because ultimately, the JCRC is working for one goal. Okay, to sum it all up, throughout all our 4 years, 3 or 4 years that we are in Eusoff Hall, we have all accumulated our own Eusoff story, I can say, in the archives of our own mind. This Eusoff story is essentially just a collection of all our beautiful memories in Eusoff. So my goal, if I'm elected the OnGen Sec, is to expand these stories to share it with the other Eusoffians, so that we can forge a stronger sense of identity and belonging of Eusoffians to Eusoff. And ultimately, my aim as a member of the JCRC is to act in the interest of Eusoffs, in the interest of Eusoffians, with my ears always on the ground, with my eyes on my vision to create Eusoff where we all call home, and lastly, with my heart always alight with the Eusoff spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. So now we will open the questions to the floor. So anyone would like to pose any questions to Howard? Anyone? Okay, Muhammad.
Hi, Howard. I have a two-part question. Okay, the first part, right? What do you think are the problems that comheads face in terms of continuity issues? Because just now you are saying about passing on documents, right? So what are the current problems that they face now, such that that cannot happen? And the second part is, how do you see yourself making it easier for them, making the process easier for them?
Okay, in general, for all committee heads, the problem with continuity, okay, from what personally I have faced by working in choir and Chile, is that there's a lack of, not a lack of, okay, there's a lack of, how to say, a structure that can guide, that is in place to guide, to facilitate the new com heads taking over of new comms. So, for some comms that the com heads will, after passing down to their new com head, they will continue to guide him or her, and they will share with them the past experience. Then for some com heads, they will pass you all the documents they have in their computer, and then they disappear. Then lastly, some com heads, they just tell you are the new head and you disappear. So, okay, for me personally, I feel that with this concrete system in place where there's always a record of the important things in the committee, there's a record, there's a backlog of the past few years, what happened in each com. The new com head, of course, whenever he needs to refer to it, he can refer to this record, even without the person, past com head being there. So for me, I found this very, very useful in choir. Whenever I need to, there's this annual event that I must prepare for, or when there are old events that I want to get rid of, or new events that I want to initiate, I always need to look back onto past documents to help me get a sense of what it was like in the past and why there is this need for change or unchanged. So basically, I feel that it's very important for all these documents on the committee level, so that the com heads wouldn't feel like very lost. They wouldn't have to start everything from scratch and really just depend on themselves to come up with anything. Because it's very pointless to start each committee on a clean slate without any background knowledge of what happened in the past. It's not conducive for progress as a committee. It's not conducive for the growth. It's just like taking each committee as the year comes. It's like just a 1 year thing, then a 1 year thing anew, another 1 year thing afresh. So I hope that there can be this collection where when we refer to it, it can actually tell us this story. You can form actually a mental picture in our mind of what happened in the past, not just for committee, for each committee of course, and of course combined together, it can form a whole collective Eusoffian record. It's a coherent one, not like maybe now where it's more in separate pieces. So it's just to facilitate on the committee level and also to make it more coherent at the whole hall level. I think it will help. Does it answer your question?
Thanks. Any other questions? Anyone have one more question for Howard?
Hi, Woon. You mentioned that or we should create a system for continuity. So may I ask which com will be maintaining this? Is it archives or secretariat? Secondly, what do you think is secretariat's role other than taking minutes, and how would you, what would you implement so that you can play a more active role? Okay, first part is who will take over the continuity responsibility?
Okay, for the continuity issue, my cutting point into this issue is from the point of secretary. So what secretary can actually do, the point of them collecting meeting minutes and event evaluation, all that is not just to send to all your other committee members and you follow on this. It's actually the secretary will have this the secretary will have this record of all these documents which as on-gen sec, right, I will be this responsibility, I will be delegating it to the secretariat committee. This is for the meeting minutes, all those paperwork stuff. So for the secretariat, they will be in charge of actually extracting this information from the com heads. The main point is not so that JCRC can have like all the files of collection, this is what year, but it is basically for the secretary to actually write it out, to actually make it into words, so that even if they don't submit it, they have it in their own copy. It is actually very helpful, because it's not for our record, it's actually for their own record. If they are forced to submit it, if they are obligated to submit it, right, there will be this record where they can pass it on to future committee heads. It does not necessarily have to go through the JCRC. But the JCRC's role is to oversee that this is actually done. Okay, so this will come under secretariat. What's the next part?
The second question is, what is secretariat's role other than collecting minutes and event activities?
Okay, the other areas of responsibility, I know currently secretariat is in charge of the notice board and the photocopy machine also. I think the photocopy machine is actually a very good initiative by the JCRC this year. And definitely I will, is it this year? Not this year.
24th, yeah.
24th, yeah. But I will look, sorry. Okay, I correct that, it's 24th. 24th? Okay, but definitely I'll be looking into how to improve this photocopy system, and also then the running of it also will be under secretariat as it is now. So basically secretariat, it wouldn't be like additional whatever other workload they want to implement, but it's basically just relooking and fine-tuning whatever procedures that are already in place. It's the wrong part, right? Okay.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, one last one.
Hi, Karen. Just one question. You know, like you mentioned, like the continuity thing and how like secretariat as it should collect minutes and AARs and all the evaluation. I think that it's a very good initiative. Just that it might be like more work for the secretariat, and also it's very difficult to like chase comments and different committees to submit their evaluation. And do you see that as a problem? And how would you solve it?
It is a problem for all committees for like one com to chase another com to chase another com. But for secretariat, this work of actually coming out with minutes, AAR evaluation is not something very, very difficult for the under the responsibility of secretary. I feel that it's actually something very simple for each secretary to do. And what we can do to ensure that this process is smoother is to, like the finance com, right at the start, there is a briefing for all the committee secretaries, and you tell them that this is the procedures for this year for each secretary. So whatever event, they have to submit this within how long, and to make sure that they know that this is the standard procedure for this year. And also definitely you have to highlight to them, at least the secretaries, they have to understand. You can highlight to them what is the meaning of doing all this. It's not just meaningless. So, and hopefully this will make it easier for the Secretariat Committee to chase the other committee secretaries.
Okay, thank you, Kawan. Thanks.